What's up, guys? Tyler Yasuda here with Tytaniumfitness. So if you've watched my recent videos, you know what's been going on with the injury, sickness, everything. You also know that I was reconsidering whether or not to compete this season. And I'm making this posing update sort of to evaluate where I'm at. And you guys feel free to give me any input that you have in the comments. Let me know what you think. But if I were to compete, I would be currently 7 weeks out from the Battle of the Bay and 9 weeks out from the Mayhem, and I think 6 or 15 weeks out from the last show that I was planning. So I've got a bit of time. The bad thing is that this past week my average weigh-in was 172.5, which is down about 9 pounds from my last posing update, which was 14 weeks ago, which doesn't sound bad. But compare that to 3 weeks ago. From this week, I was averaging, I think, 179s. So I lost 7 pounds in this past 2 weeks of all this stuff happening. And whenever you lose weight that fast, yeah, some of it's going to be muscle glycogen, some of it's going to be water, but a considerable amount is going to be muscle. There's no denying that. I mean, you can kind of tell I do look really small, but all things considered, I don't think I look bad. And this is only like my second time seeing this footage, first time seeing it up on the computer screen, and I don't want to get your hopes up or anything, but the way I see it right now is that I could realistically come in not 100%, but maybe like 95, 90%, and that might be good enough. You know, if I can get there and I feel good about the way I look, I will still compete. I mean, as I feel right now in this very moment, I think there's a good chance that I will. But like I said, I don't want to disappoint any of you guys again if I don't compete, so don't get your hopes up. This is just me sort of thinking out loud. So past 3 days have been my first days back in training after about 2 weeks of being completely unable to train. Maybe not completely unable, but I just didn't. I was sick, I was injured, and I was having a hard time dealing with a bunch of stuff. But the past 3 days I've been training. I trained chest and arms, I trained upper A and upper B, and then yesterday I tried lower B, which is my deadlift day, and it was nice that it didn't hurt to deadlift or anything like that. It feels completely normal to walk now. I can walk without any sort of discomfort, any kind of pain, and I was deadlifting without any sort of pain. It's just that when I was working up in weight, I mean, it's sort of been going the same way with every exercise, but when I was working up, I only got up to about 455 for a set of 5, and that felt incredibly heavy, so I cut it off there. I mean, the strength loss is sort of across the board as far as I can tell, and I can only imagine how much worse it's going to be in my quads, where the injury was. I definitely can't squat, I definitely can't do any sort of leg extensions right now, so we'll kind of have to see how that goes in the next few weeks. But some of that strength loss is probably, you could probably attribute it to my CNS needing to readapt to these movements that it hasn't done in 2 weeks. But a majority of it probably is from the fact that I lost so much muscle in such a short period of time. So the current plan of action, guys, is that I'm going to, I mean, I have a few weeks to decide whether or not I want to compete, because I do need to register soon if I am. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm increasing food a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit, just so I can sort of fill out a little bit more, and so hopefully that'll help me get a bit of my strength back. And obviously I'm going to have to set new baselines for all of my lifts. So if I end up lifting, let's say 455 is my new 5 rep max on deadlifts, then I just have to accept that for what it is and continue to work up from there, and do the same thing for all my other lifts. And hopefully I will get stronger. Well, I can guarantee you I'll get stronger as I recover, but hopefully as I gain the strength back, I will gain back a little bit of size, or at least the appearance of size, because that's the biggest thing for me right now, is how small I'm looking. And the other side of that is that losing a ton of weight while not being able to train, and still hitting my numbers, that probably put me closer to maintenance, or maybe even a small surplus some days. And I definitely am not in the best conditioning that I've been during this trip. I would say my best The best point for me was probably a couple weeks ago, right before the injury, but I wasn't able to post a posing update back then, so you guys kind of have to just take my word for it. That being said, I'm not unhappy with my condition right now. I mean, 7 weeks out, I look decently lean. Definitely not anywhere near contest shredded or anything like that, but this is definitely the leanest I've been 7 weeks out. And maybe I'll throw up an old posing video from maybe like 8 weeks out last season. That would be pretty interesting to see side by side if I can figure out how to do that. But yeah, I mean, thinking back to the way I looked last off season coming into contest, if I think about it like that, that gives me kind of a lot of hope, because I mean, I did pretty well last season. I won all of my shows, all of my divisions except for once. I took third in at the Central Valleys, but there's no chance of me looking worse than I did on stage last year, is basically what I'm trying to say. So that's sort of exciting. I mean, I might not look as great as I could have had all this stuff not happen, but there's nothing I can do about that, like I said. And I kind of just need to accept that, I guess, and push through as best I can. And hopefully in these next few weeks, if I can make everything go as well as I want, then who knows, maybe I will still get on stage. I think I'm running out of time here. There's only like one more pose left, so I'm going to cut it off here. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time, I guess.